and national awards, including the biggest award in the brewing industry, a gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival. The GABF gold medal is an objective measure that a beer is a world-class example of a particular style. Petacolis Brewing's Royal Scandal, an English pale ale, won the award after less than 2 months in the market. In 2014, Texas Craft Brewers elected Michael to the board of directors for the Texas Craft Brewers Guild. After serving for a year, the board elected Michael co-chair of the legislative committee, which seeks to expand the rights of Texas craft brewers via legislative measures. Petacolis Brewing also sued the state of Texas in an effort to declare an anti-craft beer law unconstitutional. Litigation is ongoing, but a favorable judgment will be victory for all Texas craft brewers. Petacolis' legislative and judicial efforts, as well as the award-winning beer, have established the brewery as a craft beer industry leader in Texas. Please help me welcome the 2025 Bluebonnet Keynote speaker, Michael Petacolis.
Thank you. All right, Travis, thank you. That introduction was fantastic. These guys gave me a glass and said, hey, man, would you like to have a beer for this thing? And as I thought about coming and talking to you guys today, I thought, yeah, I don't want a beer, but I want you guys to have beer as well. So right down here, I brought a cooler. There's like 40 Royal Scandals in that cooler. So please get up, grab a beer. In fact, if someone will grab me one, we'll take just a minute, grab a beer. But hey, that's the beer that won the GABF gold medal. So please grab it. Thank you. You should have me here and there, right? Man of the people. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Yeah, you bet. You bet. For sure. Just FYI, your guy says this one's not picking up. That's what he said. So I'm like, I don't. Sorry, live streamers. We brewed a lot of beer over the years, but this beer may be my very favorite. It's the one that I've told people that it doesn't matter if it's spring or summer, winter. It kind of goes with every temperature, every setting, whether you're having something light, whether you're having something heavy. Royal Scandal hits just right. So look, man, having won a gold medal year one into our operations, like, 40 days, I think it was. He said something like that. That beer put us on the map. My favorite. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you finish it, you want some more, you're not going to distract me. Hop up, grab some more. Yeah, oh, it's gone already? Okay, y'all are doing your job. Sorry for the guys on the live stream. I understand this mic is not working, so you might not be able to hear me. I feel like I don't need a mic at all. If I wander from this, y'all can all hear me, right? All right. So I came to talk about beers, life lessons, and a nugget of wisdom that I want to leave you guys with. But before we go down that road, I kind of want to tell you a story. I am originally from El Paso, Texas. All right, got some El Pasoans in here. Cheers. Good, love it. Cheers to you guys. I went to school there, graduated from high school, moved away. And a few years after I moved away from high school, I went home to visit my mom. And if at any point you really can't start to hear me, just give me a hand. I'll speak up. Went to go visit my mom, who had just moved into a new house. I hadn't even really seen it yet. So I walk in, hop into the kitchen, and she's like, oh, hang on, one second. I'm like, okay. So she goes into the garage, And she walks back out, and she has these two big bombers, these two big brown bombers in her hands. And when I say bombers, not that traditional 2-liter bomber that we see all the time all over the place. This is like early 90s, mid 90s. It was like almost like a Coors Banquet stubby bottle, but massive. I didn't even really know what it was. I was thinking to myself, is this beer? Like, did my mom brew beer? What's going on right now? What is happening? And as I'm thinking that, she goes, oh, let's have this. And you know, classic sound of CO2 escaping from a bottle. And she goes, I brewed beer. And I'm thinking to myself, what? This is literally my introduction to home brewing. This is the first time I had ever even really thought you could brew beer at home, knew you could brew beer at home, and it's my mom. And at first I'm shocked. I'm going, what? You brewed beer? What do you mean you brewed beer? But almost as quickly as I was shocked, I started to realize, you know what? This lady's a chef. Like, not a professional chef, but she's a cook, and would all my entire life. I mean, she's serving all kinds of just amazing foods. And I realized that, you know what? This is just an extension of what she's doing in the kitchen with her foods. And so she gets these two bombers, says, let's go out in the back porch. I'm like, all right. She gets these two small little glasses. We walk into the backyard, and kind of a quintessential El Paso, almost Mexican backyard. Like, we don't grow grass there. It's rock. It's just rock. There's rock in the yard. So half the yard is just rock. And then there's a small wall, like almost this height, dividing, and it's a rock wall. The walls aren't wood. It's just rock and cement, right? And it's dividing the rock side from what my mom has turned into basically a Mexican cantina. There's like different tables and bars and chairs and bar stools, bright colors. So we sit down, and she pours me some of this beer into these small little glasses, very kind of Mexican thing to do as well. Just these little, I don't know, probably 5-ounce straight glasses. Pouring, we're drinking these beers, and I'm enjoying this beer. First, I'm thinking, okay, wow, this is good beer. This is awesome. This is, you know, better than what I'm buying down at the store. But what really hit me was I looked to my right, and there's this mountain that's just carving El Paso in half. And we're basically at the foot of the mountain, and it's just this huge mountain on the right. And then I look to the left, and there's Juarez, Mexico, just massive. El Paso at the time was probably 1 million people. Juarez, probably 2 million people, just huge. You could see all into Mexico. And then you look kind of in between the mountain, in between Juarez, and you see Sunland Park, New Mexico. We're sitting there drinking these beers, and I'm looking at 2 different countries, at least 3 different cities. And that's when it really hits me about beer, that, you know what? Beer is all about the experience, right? The experience of drinking beer. It's kind of the best part of the entire thing. And so as I talk about kind of these beer's life lessons, I think all 3 of the life lessons I'm going to talk about today were very emblematic with concern to that story specifically, that maybe I didn't realize at the time, but looking back upon it now, it really does make a lot of sense to me. But the first beer life lesson I learned was that beer is art. Beer is art. It literally is like a creative outlet for artists. You guys are all artists, just like a painter who picks out a bunch of paints, different colors, wants to throw those things onto a canvas. Brewers, we're doing the same thing, right? We're picking all these hops. We're picking our malted barleys. We're, you know, maybe changing the water depending upon the beer we want to make. We're getting a specific yeast to result in what we're looking for in a beer. Just the way a painter gathers those paints, just the way a sculptor kind of gathers, I don't know, a bunch of metal and solders them together and welds something. They're creating art. We're creating art, but I would actually suggest that our art is at a different level, a higher level than what they're doing. And here's why I think that. Because as cool as it is to go look at a sculpture or to look at a painting, you don't ingest a painting. You might, maybe you'll smell it. I don't know. Maybe you can smell some paints. But you're probably not smelling it either, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, we're creating art, but we're creating something that not only can you look at, you know, when people say, oh, I'm consuming art, consuming, consume to me means like I ate it or I drank it, right? I literally ate it or I drank it. So I don't consume art. I look at art, you know, a painting, I guess I should say. But when it comes to our art, I think it's at an elevated level. The only other artists I think who really enjoy what we do are chefs. Chefs are putting together things, just masterful dishes, and they do have an advantage. They're putting something together that it's immediate, right? As soon as it's done, boom, you can try it and you can enjoy it. We don't have that. I mean, sure, you can smell hops. Heck, you can eat some raw hops if you wanted to. You could definitely eat malted barley. That tastes pretty good. If you're not doing that, you definitely should. Heck, you could taste yeast. You could taste the water. You could taste the ingredients, but you're not getting the whole thing. So I would say that chefs have a little bit of an advantage on us as brewers, but where I think we do have an advantage over the chefs is that we're creating something that's shelf stable and something that's portable. Unlike any other version of art, it is so easy for us to pack up and store properly, you know, cold temperatures, things like that. Store our beers and take it to other people to share. Take it to other people to share, because that's what we want to do. And so when I think about beer being art, it really jives and aligns with one of my life goals. And it sounds maybe flippant, but easy, I don't know. But one of my life goals is to have fun, to be happy. Like, I want to engage in activities that are fun and that bring me happiness. And when I brew beer, I'm having fun. I love it. The smells, the process, from watching fermentation, measuring the gravity, and then at the end, of course, drinking it. But it brings me happiness. So creating art, like I feel like an artist. You guys are all artists. If you haven't thought about this before, you are an artist, again, at the highest level of artistry, in my opinion. And that's what brings me happiness. And I want to participate in activities that bring me happiness. And the cool thing about us as a group, as about brewers, home brewers, whatever, brewer, home brewer, commercial brewer. I was a home brewer. I always thought I would always be a home brewer, but ever since I brewed that first batch at the brewery, the commercial brewery, I haven't brewed one batch at home, I'm sad to say. Like, one of my buddies, I'm like, hey man, do you brew at home still? He goes, nope, never since I became a commercial brewer, I never brewed at home. And I'm like, I'm not going to be him. I'm him. It's been 15 years now, 14 years. I've not brewed at home one time since then. But one aspect that we all share, no pun intended, is sharing. We want to share our art. That's why you're all here, right? Is everyone here? Did everyone submit entries? Let me see how many people submitted entries. How many people here did not submit something? Okay, so we've got a handful this year, previously. But it's the sharing. We want to share beer. You want to give somebody a beer and have them drink it and go, oh my God, man, this thing's awesome. Why? Fills you with pride. Makes you feel good as an artist. Like, wait, man, I put this together with my hands. I watched this thing grow. I put it together. I picked the ingredients. It makes you happy. And again, that, jives with my life goal of happiness, sharing. It's such a big part of beer and the entire community. And it's something that I love about this community, because it's all about, hey, try this, let's talk about this, have this. And you don't see that, in a lot of other groups. In fact, it is a home brewer by the name of Michael Melder, who I went to law school with. And this was, I don't know, maybe 5 years after law school or something like that. And he's home brewing and he's loving it. And he's like, hey, Michael, you need to start brewing beer. I'm like, yeah, man, sounds pretty awesome. What do I need to do? He's like, okay, first thing, you got to buy this, you got to buy that, you got to buy. And I'm like, my head's already spinning. I'm like going, I don't know what you're talking about, but how much are we talking about? And at the time, it was a hefty sum of $300. He was like, it is going to cost you $300 to start brewing beer. And I'm like, well, I don't think so. I don't even know if I'm going to enjoy it. I don't really want to do that, man. I don't want to invest. I'll just drink your beer. I'm enjoying you brewing it. This is fantastic. So, got to wet that whistle. After hearing this, a few weeks go by. There's a knock at my door. Boom, boom, boom. And there's Michael Melder. And he's got his arms full of homebrew equipment. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, look, if your objection to brewing beer is that you don't want to spend the $300, to buy the equipment, you don't need to buy the equipment. This is excess stuff for me. You can have it. And at that point, I'm like, well, all right, I guess it's time to start brewing beer. And we went and got supplies that day, and I started brewing beer. And I look back at that day now and think, man, if that guy hadn't shared his equipment, his knowledge with me, I would definitely not be sitting here talking to you guys today. That was a life-changing day that I didn't recognize at the time, but I'm 14 years into it. I don't think the direction of my life the last 14 years would have been anything like this had that guy not come over and wanted to share those beers with me or share his equipment with me and his love for brewing beer. And of course, you know what happens. Just like any artist, you start thinking, okay, well, I like this piece of equipment, but that one's better. I better get that. Oh, you know what else? I need this. I need this. Just like all the other artists. You develop this system. You buy equipment, and all of a sudden, you develop your own style. Just like the guy who went through a blue period, right? Like, I'm still going through a European classic ale session throughout my life. That's what I love. That's what I still do. But we develop our own style, and all you guys pretty much have developed a style. Sometimes it changes. Sometimes it stays the same. Mine's been pretty consistent. I do change things. But we're artists, and beer is art. And that's the first lesson that I really want to convey to you about beer and what I've learned from beer. The second one is that beer builds relationships. Beer builds relationships. And I'm not talking about acquaintances. Like, we have a little saying in our family about when you meet someone that you're not really meeting that person. You're meeting their representative. You're meeting kind of the best version of themselves. You're going out on a first date. You're acting all, you're not really, it takes time to get to know somebody, like to really dig deep and start connecting and having conversations and learning what they're interested in, where you have common ground. And beer has this uncanny ability of lowering our inhibitions and kind of cutting out the representative. Like, back when I was a kid, we used to talk about beer being truth serum. People would say, oh, I was drinking. I didn't mean that. I'm like, yeah, you meant it. You absolutely meant it. That's how you felt. You just no longer felt that you couldn't say something. You just said, forget my inhibitions. This is who I am. And it kind of works on both spectrums. Like, people will voice who they really are, and you're much more quickly able to identify, yeah, this is the kind of person I want to hang out with. This is the kind of person I can have a conversation with. This is the kind of person I want to sit down and have beer with, which again, for me, aligns with what my life goal is. Because as you recall, I'm like, look, I want to be happy. I want to have fun. A huge part of that is spending time with people who make me happy and who are fun. Like, we all go through stuff. And I'm not talking about coming in, hey, I had a bad day. But I am talking about the dude who it's drama every single time I see him. Every single time I see him or her, she's complaining every single time, every single time. Beer has this way of really making me realize, okay, you know what? This is someone I want to invest my time in because they're bringing my life happiness. This meets my goal of being happy. And on the flip side, it's kind of helped me decide that, you know what? These guys are not people I really want to, I don't want to say associate, because I'm happy to associate with them or talk to them. But man, if you're going to bring me down, life is hard enough. Life is hard enough. Like, let's help each other. If you're just going to try to drag me down, we're not going to be hanging out. And, you know, I've lost friends over the years because it's just, that's kind of the avenue that they've taken. But I can't do it. I'm working hard to enjoy myself and to be happy. And I'm willing to kind of let those relationships go. And what I've realized is I'm not trying to change people's behaviors. I'm not trying to change people's behaviors. I'm looking for people that have behaviors that I admire or are consistent with mine. Like, just for funsies. Well, you know, everyone get your hands and clasp your hands together like this. Yeah, you got beer, all you guys, like, oh gosh, how do I do this? I don't see everyone's done it, but for those of you that have done it, how many of you guys have your right finger on top? How many of you have your right finger on top? Okay, how many of you have your left finger on top? This is how it always works. It's like 50-50. And the reason I've done this is because you will always do it the same way. Do it the other way. Try it the other way. It feels weird. It feels weird. Like, I don't know how you left thumb people are walking around. Like, it's so foreign to me. But behaviors, and you'll always do it like this. You'll never switch. Every once in a while, I do kind of switch because I know this exercise. I try to give it a shot. But I'm really just bringing it up to say that, you know what, behaviors are difficult to change. You're not going to change a tiger's spots. Let it go. And then, so thirdly, look, and here's the one that might be a little bit, you know, controversial's not the right term, but it kind of maybe flies in the face of what most of us think when it comes to beer. But what I've learned about beer, what it's taught me actually, is that beer enhances your memory. Yeah, there it is. I knew it. I thought it. I'm like, people. First time? Yeah. Hey, we've all been there, right? Like, God, I don't even remember what happened last night. I'm not disputing. I am not disputing that, yeah, you imbibe, you have too much, you go hard. Yeah, you might have a little amnesia. But what this presentation presupposes is it brings laser sharp focus to your memory. It enhances your memory. And I think it's because, I'm not positive, I've done no research. I think it's because we're using 4 of our senses when we're enjoying beer. People don't think about this. I don't know if y'all have heard this, but I mean, obviously, when you see a beer, you're already kind of forming opinions about what that beer is based upon what color it is, right? Like, oh, is it going to be malty? Is it going to be hoppy? Is it whatever? But you're forming opinions because you're looking at it. Secondly, you're smelling it, right? Is this going to be malt based? Is it hop based? Is it piney? Is it root? Whatever. You know, there's a million different flavors. Then let's see, what are the 5 senses? You see it, you taste it, you put it in your mouth, right? That's when you actually taste it, right? Like, okay, yes, now I'm getting all these flavors. But the one that people don't think about is touch, the sense of touch. Yes, you're touching that beer. It is in your mouth. It is on your tongue. Is it full of CO2 and bursting with effervescence, or is it some English cask ale or a nitro beer that's just kind of rolling off your tongue? You're using 4 of your 5 senses when you're enjoying beer. And I think when you're at that heightened state of, using all of your senses, you're able to remember things. I can remember a day in 2014. My wife and I were going to Brazil to see the United States play Portugal in the World Cup. Because of a few mishaps, whether on the part of the airline, yes, the part of the airline, we lose an entire day and we get to the Amazon. We get to Manaus literally hours before the United States is going to kick off a World Cup game against Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm panicking. I'm about to cry thinking we're not going to get to this thing. Well, we get there. We get to our hotel. I mean, it was walk into the hotel, set the stuff down. Let's go. We need to start going to the stadium. And we're just a wreck, thinking, oh my God, we're not going to get there. We're not going to get there. We're not going to get there. We've been trying for 48 hours to get to this match. Are we having fun? No, this is not fun. It's not fun at all. It should be like this ultimate awesome experience. It wasn't until we start walking to the stadium, and they've got these stadiums blocked off like a half-mile perimeter. So you get through there, and we're walking by and see this kind of like nondescript Brazilian bar. It's like this indoor-outdoor bar. It's got patio seating outside, bunch of people sitting out there drinking, and we're like, yes, oh my God, yes, need a beer. Walk in to the inside part. It's still it just has a covering over it. It's still open air. Go up, like there's no, hey, what kind of beer do you want? There's Skol beer. That is it, SKOL. It's got this red, yellow, and white label, and all they have are these 2-liter bombers, classic 2-liter bomber of Skol, and they serve it to you in a Skol like cooler or koozie that is specific for that beer. So we order up these beers, sit down, start drinking this beer. Is the beer good? No, not really. I mean, by this time, I'm operating a brewery, and I'm not thinking, oh, my God, this is the best beer I ever had. But at the same time, I'm thinking, oh, my God, this is the best beer I ever had. And I'm sitting there at that table, and I can remember what my wife was wearing that day. I can remember the Japanese couple that we were talking to. I remember the Portuguese people. I can remember the sounds of the people on drums coming by. Partially because of that beer. That beer is I remember a couple of things in the stadium. But when I think about that day, what I think of more than anything else is that Skol beer that came in those cool koozie things that wasn't any good, but made the experience. It made the experience. A friend of mine asked me not long ago, hey, man, what's the best day of your life? And I thought, well, that's an interesting question. And I actually came up with something fairly quickly. And it was the day my wife and my 3 kids, we got bikes and we biked around Versailles, the countryside in Versailles. But before we did that, we stopped at this market and we bought all sorts of cheeses and all sorts of meats and some Westmalle Belgian triples. I mean, it wasn't 4 seconds into the bike ride. I'm like, hang on. I'm drinking this fantastic Belgian Trappist beer on a bike in the French countryside. Just this beautiful, if you've ever been to Versailles, I mean, it's just hard to describe how beautiful it is riding around there. And we ride for 2-3 hours. We stop. We get out all the stuff we bought. We have a fantastic picnic out there. But the beer is the thing. I can still see it in my hand. I can still see it on the handlebar. Like, not on the handlebar because I'm having to hold the handlebar and then hold the beer. But I can still see it in my head. And it's the same reason I can still recount every single detail of that day in El Paso with my mom when she exposed me to homebrew for the first time in my life. So I really would argue that beer hammers home that experience. You're not forgetting, it's enhancing your memory. So try to think about that in a little bit of the reverse way. I love when I heard, hey, I've never heard that before. I mean, that's what I'm trying to leave you guys with. So, you know, there's the 3 lessons in life that I've learned. I'm trying to keep it, you know, I'm also an attorney, and they say people learn things in 3s. If you try to say 4 things, people will forget. But there's all sorts of research that says people remember things in 3s. And so for me, beer's life lessons. Beer is art. It is so much art, a high level of art. It brings me happiness. Beer has brought me some of the best relationships that I've ever had, and some of the strongest relationships that I've ever had, starting with the one with my mom, who we're bonding over and having beers in El Paso backyard. And it enhances our memories. I know conventional wisdom is, yeah, you're not going to remember. You're going to forget things. But no. Beer will enhance that memory. Those are the 3 life's lessons that beer has taught me. So I was hoping to convey those to you. I hope that you learned a little something with that. But I did promise one nugget of wisdom. This is how I kind of weaseled my 4th thing in here by saying just 3. And a bonus and a plus. And it's a piece of advice that I have provided to people for decades. And I cannot tell you how many times over the years people have come back to me and said, dude, I remember you telling me this, and I love that you told me this, and I've shared it with so many people over the years. And it sounds kind of odd. And here it is. Break one law at a time. Break one law at a time. And it sounds kind of odd. It sounds like, wait, what are you talking about? Break one law at a time. But here's what I mean. You know, first of all, laws, you can break a law. I mean, it's not a problem breaking the law. You just have to be okay with suffering the consequence of breaking that law. You know, it's like contract law. People say, well, I had a contract. I'm like, yeah, just because you have a contract doesn't mean you can't break the contract. It just means you have to pay the damages for breaking the contract. So the law is the law. If you want to break the law, break the law. You just have to be, you know, willing to suffer whatever the consequence is. But here's why I say break one law at a time. And the example I try to use that applies to more of us than not is speeding. Is there anyone in here that never speeds? Like I don't ever speed. We've got 3, 1, 2, 3. 3. No, I believe it. I totally believe it. I am curious if there's another law you might skirt. But here's why I use speeding, because almost all of us do it. And if you're speeding and you get pulled over and all you've done is break the law when it comes to speeding, one of 2 things is going to happen. A, you might get out of it. If that's the only law you've broken, you might get out of there with a warning. B, or secondly, you're going to get a ticket. And at that point, it's, all right, well, either I'm going to pay this ticket or I'm going to fight this ticket. But if that cop walks up to your door after having pulled you over for speeding and says, can I get your license? Oh, yeah, I have a license. I just don't have it on me. I know I'm supposed to have it on me. I just don't have it on me. Okay, now you're up to 2. And then the next question is, okay, well, let me get your insurance. Yeah, okay, God, I'm so sorry. Here's the insurance. Here you go. Okay, well, this is expired. Expired? Look, I have insurance. I know this looks bad. I was speeding. I don't have my license on me. I don't have proof of financial responsibility. And then he glances down and looks at your registration sticker. Expired. All right, now you're up to 4. Now you're up to 4 violations of the law. If you think you're getting out of the speeding ticket, at that point, you're insane. You're definitely getting the speeding ticket, and you're more likely than not getting another 3 tickets right alongside it. But more importantly, what's going through that officer's mind when he goes up to somebody, hey, I'm speeding, Here's my license. Here's my registration. Everything's cool. The way he's thinking about this situation is much, much different. Much different than if, okay, speeding. Oh, wait, you don't have a license. I can't confirm who you are. Your car's not, registered. You don't have your insurance. He's now thinking, this is not a stellar citizen here. Not a stellar citizen. He's looking in the back seat. He's looking for anything else. And I think it's particularly important to talk about this with this beer drinking kind of crew. Because I don't know how many of you are going to be driving out of here when you leave. Hopefully, if you are, like I am, I've not had very much yet. But you don't know whether you're going to blow a 0.8 or higher. You might think you know, but unless you've got the instrument, you don't know what you're going to blow in that thing. So think about that the next time you think, oh man, I'm going to drive home. You better be, that's your one right there. If you're at 0.7, you might as well just assume this is my one, driving while intoxicated. And I know a guy who, he could not play the piano very well at all, but you gave him a bunch of beers and all of a sudden he was Mozart. So I know there are people out there that you're able to drive and function after having something to drink. But unless you are able to get behind the wheel of that car and use your blinker every single time you change lanes, and make sure you have your license with you and that your inspection sticker is not expired and that your liability insurance, if you don't have any of that, you're already at one just walking in the car. Don't do it. It's not worth it. The penalty's too severe. If you've had, and by all means, don't take your weed with you. Don't take your weed with you. Like, this is one law. You can get out of this, huh? you can get out of this if this one law, but dude, it's going to change your life for the worse. I bet it's probably happened to someone in this room. I'm not going to ask, but it's a life changer. It sucks. I've been arrested. Okay. It sucks having handcuffs put on you and being put in the back of your car, in the back of a police car. Sucks, man. Probably the worst day of my life, actually. Changed my life for the better having gone through it. But it sucks. It's going to change your life. At least in the short term, because you're going to lose your license for a while. You're not going to be able to drive. Your family's going to be mad at you. You're going to be putting out your coworkers. It's not worth it. One law at a time, man. You better be dialed in. You don't go a mile over the speed limit. You drive like this guy and that guy over there. You have all your documents with you. You're not carrying anything else with you that you shouldn't have. One law at a time, and you're probably going to be okay. You start stacking laws, breaking laws on top of one another, it's really going to go poorly for you. So with that, I've given you beer's life lessons for me, 3 life lessons. I've given you a nugget. I have not covered one thing that Travis asked me to talk about. So I will take questions. If any of you guys have questions about anything I've talked about or beer in general, the industry, please ask. And I will say this, and you're going to be first. I promise I'm getting to you first. There are other people that have questions. I've done this enough times now to know, oh, no questions? Okay, thank you. And I get right about here, and 4 people come up with questions. I'm like, well, where the hell was that? Like, people want to hear this. People want to talk. So if you have a question, someone else may have the same question. I guess this is my way of saying my daughter goes to Auburn, and I'm now an Auburn Tiger guy, War Eagle, and they have a game at 6 o'clock. So yeah, there's not going to be a ton of time after this. Here's our time. I've got time devoted to this right now. So I'm starting with you, and hopefully we have some other questions, but if we don't, that's going to be it. But yes.
So you mentioned that you sued Texas for something regarding craft homebrewing or craft brewing. What's going on?
Okay. Question, if you can't hear, is Travis mentioned I sued the state of Texas several years ago in connection with what, in my mind, was and is an unconstitutional law. Now, I'm going to kind of top level this because we could probably talk for 2 hours about this specific lawsuit. But here's the basis of it. In Texas, if you are a commercial brewer, you are allowed to distribute your own beer up to a certain volume. Once you reach a certain volume, you have to use a distributor. And most all brewers use distributors. We still self-distribute. You don't really see that a lot. But one of the reasons we do self-distribute is because when you sign a distributor, you have to give them the right to distribute your beer for free. And what you do, you're executing a contract that says in these counties or whatever geographic map, however you want to put it together, you have the right to sell our beer in all those areas. I can no longer sell it. No other distributor can sell it. It's one distributor. You can only choose one. And they distribute your beer in that area. And when I started brewing, there were 2 distributors that offered me a bunch of money for the right to distribute our beer. I was negotiating for the right. Yeah, you want to distribute our beer? Oh, and you can't get out of the contract. Once you sign that contract, it basically goes into perpetuity. And that's why it had value. It's like, okay, well, if you want to sell our beer, you should pay us this. And I had 2 distributors offer me money. Well, in the interim, while I'm negotiating, it becomes very clear, and the distributors were quite happy with this, that the way the franchise laws work in Texas, you cannot pay a brewer for the right to distribute their beer. So I can no longer negotiate and receive the money that I'm being offered. I have to give them the rights for free, which sucks, but I can live with that. But here's the rub. The distributor at that point is then free to sell my rights to another distributor. So I give away the right to distribute to my beer to distributor A. 2 weeks later, he sells my brand to distributor B for, I don't know, whatever money, I don't know, $10, $100, $1 million, whatever it is. And the brewer, me, gets nothing. That distributor gets something. And the real kick in the shorts is that if I want to break that distribution contract, I mentioned that you really can't get out of it. And really, you can't. But if you are successful in getting your brand back and showing good cause to get your brand back, one of the damages, this is kind of about contract law, is you have to then pay the value of your brand to that distributor. So I'm having to give away my rights. They can sell them. And if I get them back, I have to pay for them. I'm the only one who's getting the short end of the stick here. So I don't think that's constitutional. I still don't think it's constitutional. The trial court agreed with us. We won at trial. The appellate court ruled against us. And this court was going to the Texas Supreme Court, and you can appeal to the appellate court. It's automatic. It's a matter of course you can appeal it. We appealed to the Texas Supreme Court. They don't have to take a case. It's discretionary whether they're going to review it or not. Everyone in Texas knows they're going to take up this case because it's a big case. This is valuable property rights. For whatever reason, I still don't know. I'm trying to stay out of politics. They didn't take it up. So the law is still what it was before I even started that case and went down that road. And so as you were talking, Travis, I thought I need to update that because it's no longer ongoing. I lost, and it sucks. But that's just kind of what you face. I mean, these distributors, when the laws were written in the 70s, there was very few brewers and there were a bunch of distributors. So all the laws were written to protect the distributors because if someone took their brand from them, they could basically go out of business. But the landscape is now just the opposite. There are a ton of brewers and very few distributors. So the laws still heavily protect them, but the landscape is 100% completely different than what it was before. And can that still be changed? Yes, it can. Will we work on it being changed? Yes, we will. We'll try to work with the guild, try to get some laws passed to pass franchise reform. But while weed and gambling are taking the attention of the legislator, they're kind of tired of hearing about beer right now. So that's not happening in this session. Whether it comes next session, I doubt that. But it'll come. There will be a change. Eventually, it just makes sense that, hey, man, I shouldn't have to pay the value of my brand if, you know, you don't have to. Really how it should work is if you're not my distributor, or if I don't want to use you as a distributor, I'm free to move to another distributor. And then, I mean, yeah, of course you don't need to pay me for my brand because I could take it and go somewhere else. So we'll fight that, but I'll let someone else fight that one. I'll let someone else fight that one. 2, 3, yeah, good. I'm glad we got a bunch of questions. Go ahead.
I imagine you might have an opinion on the Texas THC ban.
On the what?
The Texas THC ban.
Oh, the THC ban?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have opinions. I have opinions. Look, THC is not going away. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Just like gambling, it's not if, it's when. The genie's out of the bottle all across the country. It's coming. It's going to take time. But, dude, the legislature dealing with lobbyists, dealing with these guys and people who are pumping millions into their coffers, it's tough. So, you know what I realize is my opinion doesn't matter. It's going to happen one way or the other. I mean, it's going to happen. You can't stop a locomotive. Yes.
Texas Brewers Guild. Everybody in here supports craft beer and the market and the brewers that make it.
Thank you.
There is no provision for craft brewers to support Texas Brewers Guild. And I complain about it. I bitch about it.
Wait, there's no provision for who to support the guild?
Home brewers.
Oh, for homebrewers to support the guild?
It's all for commercial brewers. Everything about it is for commercial brewers. And I support most of them commercial brewers, except the one I don't particularly like.
There's always one of those, right?
Reached out to make a provision for home brewers. They go, I'll donate $2 for a home brewer membership or something. Because we want the same legislation y'all do. We want less law. I don't want to be a professional brewer. It's a job, and I took it a long time to get rid of the job. I certainly don't want to know. But I would like to support Texas Brewers Guild. They don't make a provision for home brewers to say, hey, we support y'all.
A couple of ways to look at it. First way, you could definitely support, any home brewer can support the Texas Craft Brewers Guild. I mean, whether it's buying tickets to a festival or making a donation, these are things you can definitely do. They're not going to say, no, we're not going to take your money. But the other side of it is, could more be done to harness the potential of home brewers? Absolutely.
What's your future commercial brewer series?
Hell, I was a home brewer. We were all home brewers. All these guys were home brewers. We all now have commercial breweries. So I'm right there with you. Interestingly enough, the Brewers Association just divested itself from the homebrew aspect, which is fascinating. That happened this year. I think something should be done there. I really do. Like, I am all about trying to support homebrewers because that's the grassroots. That's where you fall in love, right? Well, I will personally pass that on. I'm no longer sit on the board, but I definitely talk to board members. I definitely talk to the executive board. I'll bring that up. Absolutely. Like, hey, are y'all doing anything to engage with homebrewers to get homebrew support? Dude, I've got War Eagle. Love it. All right. Sorry. Just caught my eye. But I think we're deficient there. And I think it's worth mentioning. And I promise you I'll do that.
We're actually a large army.
Look at this room. Look at everything you've got going. Yes.
Somebody's got to step up and help them volunteer too. Somebody's got to work. It's not just.
I totally agree with that. And honestly, I carried that mantle for a long time. And I took a lot of arrows from my fellow brewers for doing things. A lot of these guys are like, I have a distributor. Your lawsuit's screwing up our legislative stuff. People are pissed off. I agree. Someone needs to do it. You need leadership. Just unfortunately, I don't think that's my role anymore. I'm trying to find someone else to do it. And yeah, hey, yeah. If you're pointing to someone specifically, let's get them in contact with the guild. But hey, we need help. We need people down there pounding the pavement in Austin. There's a lot that could be done, but I'm worn down from it. I'm worn down from it. I feel like I fought my fight, and I want someone else to fight the fight.
That's what I'm saying. We all gotta step up. We want it. We gotta step up.
All right. And we do have guys. I mean, Seth over at Denton County Brewing, I mean, he sits on the board. We have another North Texas representative. I can't. Carl from Manhattan got an appointment. So these are the guys you need to hit up about, look, man, lead the charge. Lead the charge. Get out there. What do you see it? I mean, I was talking from I was pissing everyone off, really, is what I did. But some people don't want to do that. Some people want to do that. Now I'm just kind of tired of it. One, we've got like three. Are we out of time already? I'll answer much more quickly.
An incredibly stupid question. You want your rights back, and you know all these problems. Shut your company down and be Pentacles top one. Start all over again. I mean, is that an incredibly stupid statement?
No, it's not a stupid statement, but in the eyes of the law, they kind of get when you're trying to skirt it, and it's easier said than done legally.
But part of it is you unravel all this crap.
Yeah.
And it's, well, guess what? If I'm no longer producing,
Yep.
then those rights are worth nothing, right? Now I'm going to go do something brand new, and now I'm going to read,
It's easier said than done. Like they're looking at it, they say, "Hey, it's a shell game." I'm going to break Travis's. Yes.
How many Velvet Hammer clones have you been asked to taste?
How many Velvet Hammer? Oh, clones? Not as many as recipes I've been asked for. I mean, especially early on, everyone asked, and I would give hops. I would give some pretty good stuff, a bunch, but probably less than 15. Yeah.
Michael, last summer there was the case and the appeal on the home distillery. Where do you think that's going to go?
I don't know. I don't have any insight on that. I'm going to get in these other questions quickly if you have them. If not, Travis is shut. Okay.
So I didn't really think this out too far, but you're talking about having fun. Like I've worked in brewing, and I know a lot of it is like blood, sweat, and tears. So it's not all fun. So do you see fun as like the end result after all the work you put in, or is that like personal life versus work life? Or do they kind of?
I actually think it's both. I can remember year one. It's 4 a.m. I'm driving to the brewery. It's dark. I'm listening to Tom Petty, and I thought to myself, I've got to be the only guy in America right now that is excited to drive to work. I can't wait to get to work and brew beer. Like I've been working so hard to get this done. I love it. But yeah, I mean, you're right. You're home brewers. It's half of it's cleaning and sanitation. But I love the end result and I love it. But you're right, man. I mean, do I love scooping out a mash tun in 100-degree heat? And no. But it's called a labor of love for a reason.
The biggest challenge you face going from like 5 to 10 gallons all the way up to several barrels, like recipe wise?
The biggest challenge is learning how to operate a business, because it's changing it from this is my hobby to I want to earn revenue from this. And so when I started my own law firm with a laptop and an office. When I started the brewery, it was just the opposite. I researched how to write a business plan. And that was probably the single most important thing I did, because it makes you really think about all the issues, the entire scope, and not sweeping the stuff that you don't want to think about under the rug. Like, no, bringing it to the forefront and making you think, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? But that was the single most valuable thing I did, learn how to actually write a proper business plan. And that changed everything.
What percentage of your time would you say you actually get to spend brewing versus
I haven't brewed a beer in over 6 or 7 years, probably. I don't remember. I don't remember the last time. I don't remember the last time, and I hate to say that, but my role is different now than it was, and it's all about finding people who can do the things that I'm doing, and then letting them spread their wings and do it.
Well, first off, I want to thank you for the beer.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
To mom and to friends.
Yeah, man, to that. That's a good way to end it right there. To mom, friends, and beer. Thanks for having me, guys. I will stick around if you did have another question since Travis cut us off. It was like this kind of a Mexican peach ale. Yeah, but it was an ale. She didn't lager it. Had a peach characteristic to it, and I don't know if she used corn or what, but Mexico. She's all about Mexico.
Incredible talk.
Okay, good. I hope. Yeah.
I married a Coronado 88. So we're in good progress.
Oh, awesome! You know the Thunderbird on the mountain. You know what I'm. You can see what I'm describing then for sure.